Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Claude Code. I am your host, Claude Racine, here with another interview with a beautiful glow getter, this time with the incomparable Tracy Ziegelstein. She is a mom of three from Canada, and she went from struggling with her weight, with how she felt, with people pleasing, with mom guilt, and having just no control over her life and just feeling like shit in general, to no more people pleasing, total confidence, wearing clothes she hadn't worn in a very long time, taking control of her life, and losing 30 pounds in 4 months. Take a listen to this mom's true transformational story. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Cloud Code!
Hello, Tracy. Welcome to the Cloud Code.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you could make it today. It was very last minute, so thank you for opening up some time for me.
Of course.
And you're like delaying dinner, right? Because dinner's usually at this time for you.
Yeah, so they're going to eat without me. My family's going to eat without me, and I'll figure something out after we're done.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, so why don't you start by just telling us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Okay, so my name is Tracy. I'm from Canada, Toronto, sort of. I'm north of Toronto. And I have a husband and 3 kids. My kids are 15, 13, and 8. I am a full-time mom. I also have a couple of part-time jobs. I'm on permanent leave of absence from my job that I've held for 25 or so years. So in the meantime, I started working with you as an admin, and it's been great so far. It's been just over a week. And the only other thing that takes up a ton of my time is hockey. My younger son is a goalie in hockey, and we are always at the rink.
Amazing. And he's how old? He's 9?
10.
He's 10. Wow. Amazing. Yeah. So Tracy started working here at Glow Up With Claude, I believe, like literally on last Monday.
Yeah.
A week ago.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. So a mom, a full-time mom, she works. Now, what were some of the things going through your head when you first heard about my program, about joining it? Like any sort of doubts, fears that came up for you before joining?
All doubts and fears. So I had been watching you on Instagram for a while before I decided to join. I knew you from Beachbody. Everybody knows you from Beachbody. I was a Beachbody coach for 9 years, loved working out in my basement. It was the best thing ever. But we had been going through some hard times as a family. My husband had been diagnosed with cancer. He was going through treatments. And my own health started to slip, and not in a severe way, but just I didn't care what I was shoving in my mouth as long as it was quick and easy. And I was completely miserable. And I was watching your videos. I started watching your makeup videos, and you were so beautiful and so powerful, and you drew me in. And I loved your energy. And then when you started talking about coaching, the minute I heard about your coaching program, I was like, yes. But I did not join at that time because I didn't have the money, and I was scared, and I was comfortable in my misery, and I didn't know what change would feel like, and I wasn't really ready to make the jump. And then in December of 2023, we were in Florida. We were there for 3 weeks. We were at Disney, and I felt that it was difficult to be there. I didn't want anybody to see me. I went to the parks with my family, and it was supposed to be so much fun, but I was constantly thinking, is anybody looking at me? Do I look horrible in my clothes? Am I disgusting hanging out? Like, I just felt gross. And I contacted you, and I said, okay, I'm ready. And I signed up for a 3-month program. Within the first month, I don't know if you remember, within the first month, I was an elite client because I needed you one-on-one. I needed more. And immediately after starting to follow your program, I felt the energy changed. So yes, I started losing weight and feeling better physically, but more than that, my mental state changed completely. I started caring about how I looked, what I wore. I started putting on a little bit of makeup and washing my face. I came up with a daily routine. I started implementing a sleep routine, and I just wanted more from life.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
December 2023, how long was that from the first time you saw something about my program till you made the decision?
I'm guessing it was about 6 months, 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't really think about it. I just listened to you talk and I thought, okay, one day, one day, one day. And if I'm being totally honest, you had a Christmas sale, and I thought, okay, if
This
I
is,
if I can do it for the sale price, I can afford it.
but not only did you afford the sale price,
Yes.
but it was like a month into it, you're like, okay, I need more connection. I want more accountability, more one-on-one coaching with you. And then you
Yes.
jumped on my elite program.
That's right. For 1 month, for 3 months, 3 months. And then I've been part of the group coaching program since. Before my year expired, I signed up for another year, for a full year. And then before that year expired, I signed up for an additional year. So I'm still here until March as a group coaching client.
Yes. Yeah. So you started group, went to elite, then went back to group. And
Back to group.
that has worked beautifully for you. And that's just something that I would like to touch on is like everybody's journey is so different. And what I love about what you did is you just listened to what you needed because not everybody needs that one-on-one touch. I am like you. I want to work with my coaches one-on-one. It's just, I'm a strong, stubborn-headed person and I need somebody to like keep me in line. And if I'm just kind of in a group program, starting off or whatever, I tend to just like, whatever, I'll just start listening to myself. So there's different levels to this shit. And what Tracy did is she just like list. I love that you just listen. You're like, this is what I need. Okay, I had 3 months of elite. Now let me go back to group. And that has continued to work for you and support you in the way that you need.
Yeah. And then since January, I've been part of your elite collective,
That's right.
which is I get every other week we get a call with a
Yep.
group of elite clients. So I'm not working with you one-on-one at the moment, but I do get those extra phone calls and that extra touch, that extra. I am finding that so powerful,
Amazing.
actually. It's just every week I learn, every other week I learn something new, and I figure out how to incorporate that into the new me, the new way I
Oh, I
live.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I put that together because I had a few elite clients that wanted to connect with other elite client members. And I thought, very cool. Like, let me create that for my elite clients because there is something to be said about the woman who is ready to invest, let's say $1,000 in her health, and then a woman who's like, I'm ready to invest $5,000 in my health. There's a huge difference in where that woman is in her own journey. Like I started out, at $700 for 3 months and jumped to 45, and then it was 30 grand for, however many. And that's on your way up, like your mindset changes. And it's important to stay connected with women that are on that same level of mindset. And so I'm happy to hear that you're loving that. Yay.
I am, and I don't doubt that at some point down my path, I will jump back into one-on-ones. I will jump back into the elite program. I'm just not at a place right this minute that I
Yeah.
need that close guidance.
And so talk to us about what that is for you. Like, what about you feels like you need that one-on-one guidance? Like, what did you find most helpful about that experience?
Okay, so at the time when I did join it in the first place, it was really I had so much going on in my head. I had changed my food and my workouts. I had always been working out, but I had changed my workouts to more weightlifting, and I just needed to know where this was taking me. Like I needed some help sort of finding my path. Because I had so many thoughts and so many ideas, and I needed somebody to bounce ideas off of, and who sort of had like the experience that I didn't have yet to guide me along as I jumbled through my thoughts. And and I at that time when I started with you in Elite, I decided I needed to write a book.
Wow, that's right, Tracy, the writer.
And the book is still in the works. It's not written yet, but it is still in the works. But the idea for the book, through conversations weekly with you, the idea for the book developed and changed, and it went from, oh, I'm going to write about, my marriage and how I've survived all the trouble we've had in our marriage, to I'm going to write about the trouble, the trouble which was not in my marriage. It was, we had some trouble with pregnancies and pregnancy loss. So I do have 3 healthy kids, but I do also have a number of losses along the way. And so the idea for my book developed into something a lot deeper and a lot more personal and more specific. And that was all through the guidance that you gave me.
And I think too that your story is a beautiful testimony of like when you just put the wheel in motion, when you take that chance, like you were like, okay, I don't even remember what the sale price was at the time. Probably something crazy like $600 for 3 months or something like that.
Somewhere there, yeah.
USD. I'm sure that was different in Canadian dollars. Thanks, Canada. But you put that wheel in motion. You said, okay, I'm going to do this. And the next thing you knew, you could afford Elite. And the next thing you knew, it was like, okay, I'm going to write this book. And then everything kind of, because doors don't open or like new ideas don't open unless you take that step. And you just kept taking that step.
And I don't know if you know this actually in terms of dollars spent, but I joined a self-publishing company, and that was an investment too. That was an $8,500 US investment.
I had no idea. Oh my God.
Company that I'm working with, they guide you along self-publishing. So there are editors and marketing people, and so I've got the knowledge of backing when the book is, like, as I write the book, and then once the book is ready for print and marketing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from a $600 commitment investment, you guys pay attention, to a $8,500 investment. And I know for a fact that you would have never made that $8,500 investment had you not started with the 600, because
Never.
You propel the change. You do. You say, okay, I'm worth $600. And then that's scary. And then you're like, oh, wow, look, I'm still alive. Nobody died. I still have money in my account. And look at that. I have more. And I like investing in myself. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, this feels good. I'm seeing progress. My life is improving. Like, it's not to say that everything becomes rainbows and butterflies and unicorns, but the growth that I've seen you have is just insane. And I can't wait to read your book. Let's be honest.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. You'll be one of the first to get a copy.
Yes.
I'll sign it too.
You what?
I'll sign it for you.
Oh my gosh, please. It has to be signed. Yeah. Okay. So hardest obstacle, it could be more than one, or it could just be one, that you found yourself experiencing in this journey, as far as, well, actually, it could be anything.
So, and I'm still struggling with it. I do have the faith in myself, and I have learned a lot, but I still question myself, and I still have doubt. And I actually am able to pull myself out of it a lot faster now. And I think that is what I have learned the most from you in this program, is that I'm still going to have the self-doubt. I'm still going to lose track, get off track, and make decisions that aren't necessarily in my best interest.
Mm-hmm.
See, before I would have said, I screwed up, I made mistakes. But no, I just made a decision and it turned out not to be the right one. So I'm able to pull myself back up so easily now. And I think that that is, I can't remember the word I was about to use. It's tangible, but it's also like, can't pay for that. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's priceless.
Priceless.
I love that you brought this up because I posted something the other day, very real, a moment that I had about my autoimmune. And it's important for people to know that, like, just because you lose the weight, just because you make the investment and you get the results, doesn't mean that all of a sudden you never, ever experience hardships or self-doubt or setbacks. I mean, it never stops. But I love that you said you just get better at pulling yourself out. You recognize that's what this is. No big deal. It doesn't like bury you 6 feet underground every time. You're like, oh, okay. And you can move on much more easily and more quickly.
Exactly. So last week I was sort of mentally not sure. It was a hard week. It was my first week on my new job. And I'm actually enjoying the work so much, but having not really worked those hours in a long time, it was a change for my schedule to all of a sudden be, on call and needing to be working at a certain time of day. And so it took a mental toll on me. It really did. And I was really frustrated and upset. And so Saturday, I decided to do a 36-hour fast, which I used to do one every week. So when I was first starting your program, the first couple months I didn't, but a couple months in, I started doing a 36-hour fast once a week. And I found that it kept me super focused mentally.
Nice.
And it enabled me, instead of feeling like I was deprived and I needed to then treat myself with food, I found that it made it so much easier to stay on track with my food. So I really, and up until about December of 2023, so almost a full year, I was fasting once a week, 36 hours.
Wow.
And I stopped fasting because I started training for a half marathon and I didn't want the runs to mess up my food to mess up my runs. So I stopped fasting regularly, and I've done it here and there since then. But this week I really felt that I needed that mental challenge again.
Nice.
So I did a 36-hour fast and I felt great.
And you learned tools, right? Like, I didn't know to fast 3 years ago. I didn't know, hey, how to do my macros. I had no idea. But when you get in a slump, you now have tools to, like, okay, I know how to push myself. I want to push myself. I know what this is and what to do to get out of it. And I think a lot of people think it's just like, oh, I'm going to lose weight. And you're really transforming who you are.
I actually, even though I came on board to lose weight, I feel like the weight loss was a byproduct of everything else.
Totally. And since we're on the topic, how much weight did you lose?
I lost 30 pounds in 5 months.
30 pounds in 5 months. Y'all, 30 pounds is a lot.
That's a lot.
Like, if you've never Googled like 30 pounds of fat, Google that shit because it's very impressive.
And that's the other thing. It was fat, so it took up all the space. Because 30 pounds of muscle doesn't take up nearly that much space.
Sure. That body is going to look a lot different than 30 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
Like, way different. That's beautiful. So, biggest obstacle has been self-doubt. What has been your biggest, maybe not achievement, but what has been like the biggest joy you have found in taking this leap for yourself?
I think that I would say the biggest joy is the way I've shown my family how to be. So I can't say that my children are always eating super healthy. But
Who can?
But I see that they're watching, and I see that they notice when I'm not on track, and they say something now. They're saying, "Oh, Mom, why didn't you work out today?" Oh, now I have to answer to them. Or,
There's your accountability right there.
are you sure? Are you sure that that's on your plan for eating, Mom? Does that fit into the plan? Really, my 10-year-old does it the most. But and then the other amazing thing is my husband Carrie has his health has improved significantly, and he has joined Noah. Your husband Noah.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? Your husband was diagnosed with cancer, right? So he was dealing with health things, and Tracy took it upon herself to get herself well. And he didn't join until, I mean, you've been with me over a year.
Yeah. He needed to wait. He felt he needed to wait until his health was in a better place, that he could be at the gym regularly, that he could maintain the stamina that it requires to put in that much effort. So his actually, while he was sick and recovering from the cancer, his appetite was very small. So he wasn't eating always great. He wasn't eating always bad. He's the chef in my house. So he was often cooking the food that I eat, and then he would eat a little bit of it too.
Okay.
But he just wasn't eating enough food at all. So now that he's stronger again, then he joined the program, and he's working out, and he's feeling great, and he's lost some weight. I'm not sure how much.
It's pretty significant.
I can see the difference.
Yeah. And it's just like, you guys, when you start to take care of yourself, it has a ripple effect. Your kids start to notice, and now you're creating better habits in them. And then your partner starts to notice. My husband also followed suit, when I started taking care of myself. Like, he dropped the gluten. It wasn't until a couple years into it, but also the alcohol. He dropped the alcohol after I said bye. And it's like, we can really lead by example. And it's not just about you, it's about what kind of impact do you have on everybody around you, which I think is just cool, that your husband works with my husband and you work with me. And that's just how we come up in life, like y'all.
That's right. It's been an amazing adventure, and I really appreciate everything that you do for me and for your entire audience.
Well, I appreciate what you've done for me, because without women like you who actually take the jump and then actually do the work and put their excuses aside and get their results, I wouldn't have a business without results like yours. So you are the reason why I can do what I do. So thank you. Are there any last words of advice that you would like to give to any woman, mom, who is out there struggling, sort of like doubting her ability to do this, doubting her ability to afford it? What would you tell her?
I would say that, first of all, you have to realize this is where you are worth the money. You are worth the effort. You are worth the money. And it's hard. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is hard work, but it is so worthwhile. And the speed at which things will change and the amount that they will change, you'll look back and go, how did I wait so long to make the change? It's just so worth it. And you are so worth it.
Yes, you are worth it. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of women don't feel worthy. They feel everything else is worth it. My kids are worth it. This is worth it. But me, I can take a back seat.
I was there for a really long time, that, everybody else needed something more important than what I needed, including, but not limited to, including what I needed to eat, clothes, time to myself, time to work out, time to make my food, time to wash my face and brush my teeth, but and then the biggest change, and we haven't even touched on this, my sleep schedule. I go to bed around 9 o'clock every night. I can't say I'm in bed by 9 because my 10-year-old still wants to spend too much time with me, and I am not turning him down. So, and as he's getting older, bedtime gets a little bit later. So it's sometimes he comes to my bed and says goodnight to me in my bed instead of me going in his bed, but we still have our time together before 9 o'clock. And by 9:30, quarter to 10, I'm asleep.
Wow.
And I'm up between 5 and 6 in the morning. I get so much sleep, and I feel strong all day. I used to be falling asleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I couldn't stay awake. And I'd be at my computer at work with my eyes closed. It was it was awful. But I have so much energy now because I sleep and I fuel my body properly and I take care of myself and it feels good.
And how old are you, Tracy, for anybody wondering?
48 years old.
Stop. I didn't even know that. You look no day older than 29.
Oh, thank you. 48.
48.
48.
Okay. So for anyone who's out there like, I'm too old, perimenopause, I can't sleep because of this, it's none of that. If Tracy can do it, so can you. And I say this to all my clients who, don't feel like they're getting the results that they came for. And maybe that's because they don't show up like Tracy did. Maybe that's because they make excuses in their head and they let this slip or that slip. But if Tracy was one of the least, well, what word can I use here? Demanding. And it's okay if you're demanding. Everybody's at a different level and I meet you where you're at. But she was one of the least demanding clients of all time. Not really any questions in between our calls. And she did the work. And I have a lot more women like her too. So if she can do it with 3 kids, then so can you. And 30 pounds gone, a new sleep schedule. And you guys, ladies, sleep is number 1. Most important. If you want to lose the fat, you got to sleep at least 7 hours of a night. Well, Tracy, listen, I am very proud of everything that you've done. And now you're working for me, which is a true testament of how much you have grown because, we glow over here at Glow Up with Claude. And thank you for making me look good and inspiring other women to go all in on their own health.
Thank you. It's been such a pleasure to work with you and now for you, with you. To work with you as a client and now work with you in your business. That's what I want.
It has been the whole thing. You're a beauty and I love having you around.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that I finally took the leap and that you're in my life and you're going to be my best friend forever.
Forever. Canadian besties forever. Tracy's even stayed at my house before. She stayed here like 2 or 3 nights, I think. We ran a half marathon kind of together. She was way too fast. I couldn't keep up. And that's just the truth. She just ran right past me. And I was like, well, bye, Tracy.
Started really strong. I ended a little slow, but that's okay. I finished. I felt good. A half marathon's a major accomplishment.
Heck yeah. I ended up only doing a 10K that day. So big ups to you.
Thank you.
And you guys also, last but not least, surrounding yourself with women like this is so important. If you are out there and you're surrounded by people who don't eat healthy, by people who don't make great lifestyle choices, and it's like gnawing at your brain that you need to, it's very important to connect and align yourself with like-minded women who will pull you up. We pull each other up.
We do. And eating healthy and no alcohol is not the norm in our society. People look down upon me. I bring my food everywhere. So we go on hockey tournaments and I pack 3 days worth of food and bring it with me and warm it up in microwaves at the arenas. Or sometimes I just eat it cold because there's no other option. But I'm eating healthy and people look at me and go, oh, what are you doing? Why don't you just order something? Why would I feed myself garbage? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, you end up going, my health is more important than anything, and I choose health over and over and over again. Like Noah's been prepping for a competition, if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, but a fitness competition, and he brings his food everywhere, and there's all these signs that are like, no outside food or drinks, and he still brings it in. He's like, I can't eat your food, sorry, I have to bring my own.
The world is accepting of a lot of things. Being healthy doesn't seem to be one of them.
No, and that goes deep. That's very deep. So our job is to just bring awareness, first of all, that there is an issue, and then also awareness that there's possibility to change that, and that you don't have to be a victim to seed oils and, peer pressure of drinking alcohol. It's a toxin. It's killing you. What? So anyways, that's what we do here. We build each other up. We build the strength that it takes to basically defend yourself. But at a certain point, when you're here long enough, you stop having to defend yourself. I don't explain myself. I'm just like, this is who I am. Just like,
Sorry.
no, I was going to say just like church. Like, you don't sit there and defend yourself. If somebody's like, you go to church every Sunday, you're like, yeah, you don't have to explain yourself. It's just who you are. What were you going to say, Tracy? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I cut you off, but I forget.
Sorry.
It was along those lines that we bring our food everywhere, and we don't remember. Sorry.
We choose ourselves. We choose our health. That's it. Like, choose health. So what does that mean if I'm at a party and there's no food that I can eat? It's just sugar, gluten, a bunch of fatty things. Like, okay, cool. Then I won't eat. That's me choosing health. Or I'll bring my own food, or I'll eat before I go. Always being like really prepared. I never leave my food in the hands of someone else, because that's the fuel I'm putting in my body. So I'm going to have full control over that. Control.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
I knew it.
That's another bonus to having completed this or been working with you, is I know how to say no. I know how to stick up for myself. And I'm not, I used to be a major people pleaser. I had to, if it was going to upset somebody else, I just wouldn't do it. Or if I wasn't sure how people would react, I wouldn't say anything. And now I speak my mind. I say no to people. I tell them I'm sorry, that's just not going to work for me. I have a self-assuredness that I never had before.
And you guys, you think it's about weight loss, and that's all great. But that is like, that right there is the real gold in just putting your health first. All these other things you don't even know are going to change about yourself. Now you're not pushed around. Now you don't feel anxiety around people. Now you don't feel like you have to please everybody. Like, there's so much power in that.
Yeah.
And life just feels way more free. And that's the point, is total freedom. I'm so proud of you, Tracy Ziegelstein.
Thank you.
I can't believe you're 48 still. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Claude Code and listening to the beautiful words of Tracy. And yeah, if you feel like this resonated with you, shoot me a DM. I also linked below a 7-day free debloat meal guide where you get to try out the nutrition that we have here. Anti-inflammatory, get rid of the inflammation. If you want to try it out for 7 days, click the link and then email me and be like, Claude, I am ready. I'm ready to level up. Okay. We are here to serve you and help women get better. That's all we do here. So love you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye, Tracy.
Bye.